Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Hari ini, today is webinar live series which features our pengarah MITRANS, Professor Nasir Taib. Okay, no, Professor Nasir Taib, betul. Okay, saya I've received the updated CV, brief CV, but the brief CV is like what 300 words or I think 500 words. So I should give justice to the VC, to Prof, and by reading all the credentials that have been stated in the CV. So Prof Nasir Taib. Okay, if I should say it from the beginning. Professor T.S. IR Dr. Haji Muhammad Nasir Taib. Okay, Prof has a degree from electrical engineering from University of Tasmania, Australia. Masters of Science in Control Engineering, Sheffield. PhD from UMIS, UK. Currently full professor at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering in UITM, and recently has been appointed as the Director of Malaysia Institute Transport, or formerly or known or popularly known by MITRANS. Okay, and Prof Taib has also carried out several other duties in UITM as System Engineer at CADEM Center, Head of Department, Center for System Engineering Studies, and then also Dean for Faculty of Electrical Engineering from 2011 to 2019. And he has also chaired many committees in UITM. Prof has also heads the Advanced Signal Processing Research Group in FKE, has several interests in research such as in control system, process, biomedical engineering, energy studies. I think as a Prof, he has tremendous experience in research, and he has authored and co-authored many published papers in refereed journals and conferences. Prof is also a chartered engineer in UK, and professional engineer in UK and in US, Board Engineers of Malaysia in Malaysia also. And Prof is also a professional technologist. That's why the name he carries the name of TS, by the name of the TS, and then has been an active senior member of SMIEEE and also IEEE of US. Advisor of the Malaysian Society of Automatic Control Engineers and IEEE Malaysia section. So I think betul ke, Prof? I've mentioned everything. Okay. Did I omit anything?
No, okay.
Okay. Okay. Today, as the new pengarah for MITRANS, Prof will share, or Prof will transport us into his talk for 1 hour. The talk will be 1 hour, and after that, we have a Q&A session for 10 minutes. So without further ado, I think I'll pass the whole G meeting, this G meeting to Prof. Silakan, Prof.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good day, good morning to all. Thank you, Prof. Cik Mah, for that lengthy introduction. Actually, it's not necessary, but anyway, thank you, and thank you all for making yourself present today to listen to my sharing of a very interesting topic, transporting happiness. I think this topic is really relevant now. We are in the middle of movement control order and the COVID pandemics, so there are many interesting things that I intended to share, but now I have limited time. It's only 1 hour. I hope if anybody want to raise any questions, any queries. Right, okay, the topic today is transporting happiness. It is something that I think common with us all. But generally, in the sharing today, I'll be covering these 4 or 5 areas, talking about a new disruption. COVID-19 and logistics. Logistics is part and parcel of MITRANS, where I do works now. And then talking about transporting happiness. What is it about and how can we gain from that? And of course, I will be offering some opportunities to work together with MITRANS. Allow me to share a few snippets about MITRANS. We study, research, consult and certify logistic, transportation and halal supply chain. These are our core area that we pay attention and we cooperate, help our partners, our collaborators, and sometimes our client to keep our stakeholders happy. We pay attention to these areas, logistics, supply chain, transportation. We look at SDs, halal supply chain, ICTs, food science, quality management, engineering, and many, many more. That's concern logistics, transportation, and supply chain. We do offer postgraduate degrees. So people out there, if you want to be supervisors or you want to be students, you are welcome to register at MITRANS for Masters in Transport and Logistics or PhD in Transport and Logistics. And our new teams, since taking office, I discussed with my staff at MITRANS, and apparently we agreed that our new role now, we got to make sure that everybody happy, our stakeholders especially happy, and everyone else that touch base with us, touching us, come in contact with us, should be happy as well. So you should be happy, everybody happy, and we will be happy. From this talk, I expect that everybody somehow will gain something out of the sharing that I'm giving out this morning. At least you can relate between transport, logistics, and happiness. And also look at the challenges that posted by COVID-19 now, how that influence our futures, especially through logistics and transportation. And then we look at the other disruption that will come out from what's happening now. Let me pay attention a little bit about happiness. I think we are all have a common ground for happiness. We look into to be happy. We try to make people happy. We try to create happiness within ourselves, within our society, and hopefully our country or the world is happy. I think everybody hopefully agree with that. Several definition of happiness. Franklin said that happiness consists more inconveniences of pleasure that occur every day than in great pieces of good fortune that happen but seldom. So we look at the conveniences, we look at the things that make us go around easily, make us feel good, and that's happiness from Franklin. And also another definition, he who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. So we're looking at everything as working with us, with our intention, with our way of doing things, we are happy. But in pursuing our life goals, our life work, we sometimes lost sight of happiness. We forgot to design to make our life the best ever life. We forgot about being happy, and we forgot about peace. That's why the world has so many challenges, so many issues, because we thought that we are working very hard, we thought that we are doing very well, but we lost sight of designing our life. We live by default. We live by other people's design, not our own design. So hopefully, transporting happiness is not really going to be apparent from my thought, but it's going to be subtle or succinct in my sharing this morning. And now, what happened to us now? COVID-19 changes everything. We see that before, we are forced to change our belief. We are forced to change our way of life. We are forced to transform our culture. But now, COVID-19 really forced us to see life in a different way. And we are just been talking about disruption and IR 4.0. We just been talking about this yesterday. We look at the revolution of industry coming from the manual mechanization of industry to mass production and assembly line. And then we talk about automation and electrical energy and electronics. And yesterday we talked about cyber physical system, ICT that drive the current revolution. We talk about data analytics. We talk about deep learning. We talk about big data, etc., etc. Talk about artificial intelligence. But we see today with the challenges of COVID-19, the fourth industrial revolution is no longer shaping a new era. It's become a yesterday era. So we have a new challenges. We were promised by the IR 4.0, at least these 12 technologies, the advancement of these 12 technologies. The 3D printing, this is very relevant today, especially we saw everywhere, people try to help the frontliners, so-called frontliners, the people working in the health sector. We try to come up with some PPEs, and everybody been printing many things. So 3D printers, they were the products of IR 4.0, and they are being used now, and more advancement coming from 3D printing. Advanced material, automation robotics, biotechs, battery and storage capacities, blockchain and accounting, geoengineering, geospatial, IoTs, supercomputing, and of course AI and space technologies, and also AR and VR. This play a major role before, still most of them play a major role today, and many of them make us happy to overcome the challenges of COVID-19. So this global pandemic posted by the COVID-19 is it can be a traumatic challenges, traumatic experiences. It changed the way we live. It changed our mobility. It changed the industrial logistics. It changes, in fact, the world. And this is global, not only in Malaysia, it's everywhere. In Malaysia, we have the MCOs or PKP. That's ending up a sort of lockdown. And we have this tagline, stay safe, stay at home. But from a disruption point of view, not only IR 4.0 bring a lot of disruption, but COVID-19 also, in a positive way, bring a new disruption to people's life, our life. And we have this to be the common thing now, the new normal. It's a new verb, it's a new style, and people's everywhere talking about the new norm, or how we're going to live during COVID-19 and post-COVID-19. To me, this actually bring forward happiness disruption. This is on the positive side. Of course, the negative side, there are many on the negative side, but on the positive side, we are experiencing a sort of new disruption. And from our endeavors as a scientist, as lecturers, as researchers, we of course try to offer solution. We try to offer new application, new way of making people's life more comfortable, or in a way more happy or happier. So from my perspective, the challenges of COVID-19 actually a positive factor in leapfrogging many of the expected advancement influenced by IR 4.0 and produce new innovation, new novel application, new interesting event, new interesting scenarios, etc. And all this, I call it happiness disruption. So how can we transport this happiness to be part of the new norms? And some of this we experience. For example, I pick up this from BMJ, just published recently. There are many side disruptive happening offshoot from COVID-19. For example, there are the forceful abrupt shift in human behavior. You see, I still got my long hair. Hopefully today in Malaysia we have I can go there to the barber today. They start opening. Hopefully I can cut my hair. So if you can see my hair still long, but actually this my opportunity to keep my hair long, coming to work with long hair. But this is some shift. And generally in hospital, there are reports of a significant reduction of other diseases. And there are a lot of decline in pit diseases. And generally, around us, there are fewer cars, bluer skies. And in Kuala Lumpur, there's another publication, if you dare to read, generally a 40% reduction in nitrogen dioxide. And this indicate a much cleaner air in Kuala Lumpur. And elsewhere, in some areas, the reduction up to 60%. And from the WHO, the reduction in big cities between 20 to 30% on average. So this is a big shift and forced by COVID-19. And the way the COVID-19 changing our life also caused us to shift priorities. For example, in higher education or in primary education, there are more online offering, more online interaction, and there are new innovative assessment done online, and a new practical or laboratory works done virtually. So these are changing our focus, our way of doing things. And recently in Malaysia also, the Engineering Council sort of approved temporarily some of the way we conduct classes online, some of the technique we use for assessing student online. And of course, the finance and money trade changed drastically. There are loads of e-wallets and a lot of program application available online where there's no physical money being moving around. We only pay things, move money by touch of buttons or virtual buttons on our portable phone or smartphone. And work from home is a new definition of work norm. Work away from office or office in virtual environment. And of course, there are many more that are forcing us to change our life. From the logistic point of view, of course, when the COVID-19 come into place, that's produced a lot of reaction and responses from the supply chain, not only for food, for goods, but also, as I mentioned earlier on, regarding the way we live, regarding the way students learn, regarding the way people transact money, regarding the way people communicate with each other. And this call for resilient option, offering of new ways of dealing with things, dealing with supply chain. And now we can see the rebound, the offering, the creativity and the innovation, not only for logistics and supply chain, but covering our whole life. The new norm become the new verb, the new vocab that people use, describing how we shift our life, how we shift our focus, how we shift our definition of happiness. So there are also associated disruption for supply chain. And to me, supply chain not only covering the physical movement of materials and goods, but also covering the way, for example, the COVID-19 itself, that's follow certain logistic theory and progress. And the way we're offering education, it can be micro module based, micro assessment based, micro credential. So that's also follow certain logistical technique or logistical algorithm, and also fulfilling supply chain requirement. As higher education, we supply certified or assess progress of student learning from certain concept to finally advanced level, and the student can earn their degree through that supply chain. So nowadays, with the common online offering of not only education, transaction, or communicating or ordering goods, this become the new normal that also help us cope with the massive shock of COVID-19. And we see that in the logistic areas, export-import restriction are everywhere. In fact, last time, I used to buy a lot of things through online uh, application, and sometimes many goods need to be imported, mostly from China, or sometimes from the US, sometimes from Australia. So some of these suppliers, they can bring the goods from overseas to our address within a week or 2 weeks sometimes. But during COVID-19, I still have some of my orders not fulfilled uh, from overseas. This is due to restriction. And of course, there are limited border movements. Countries close their borders. So mobility of persons are very limited. In fact, holiday may become a forgotten verb maybe. Or um, but you see recently, if everybody take notice of some report when the government of Malaysia announced that they'll be losing a little bit of control for the movement and open up hotels and resort, within an hour, 1,000 booking were done for people going to have holiday in Langkawi. So that's something people look forward to out of restriction that been put by the COVID-19. And now we see new supply chain operation. Not only there are many more innovation in place for logistic and supply chain, but there are new accountability in terms of transaction, bringing supplier and client in a different handshake, a different agreement, be online or be virtual. And for example, we saw this last month before the celebration of Hari Raya in Malaysia. Everywhere, all state government partner with online delivery companies or delivery suppliers, open up virtual bazaars where we can order food, especially through online system. This is a new, totally new disruption for part of the logistic, food chain, for example, and even clothing. People are buying clothes. People used to do that before the COVID-19, but so more during the PKP or MCO. And COVID-19 is transforming e-commerce in a big way. I capture this from Prof, recent publication, 28 April. The article talking about a new way people looking at e-commerce, a new way of transaction, and a better future promise for certain segment of people's life. And in Malaysia, we saw many, or we read many stories regarding people's life being changed. Small entrepreneurs transform their business through the innovation of online system, through the new electronic transfer of money, change their life forever. Even some people, and I think we saw many instances, even the Prime Minister of Malaysia pay certain attention to people who are paying more focus on YouTube application, for example. And there are cases we saw the positive side of people who have difficulty in doing business before. Now the opportunity of online transaction and online bazaars open up the opportunity to become a better entrepreneurs. So in the airline, we saw recently AirAsia declaring that they are going to let go some of their staff. And then all over the world, we saw many airline companies going bankrupt. But on the other hand, those airlines that are creative, dare to change, they change their mode. For example, they offer cargo flights that help improve the international logistic. And hotel, we saw many hotel provide innovative offering beside their B&B, they're offering takeaways and also deliveries. They are offering new packages. For example, I received recently from some hotel, you can pay 1,000 ringgit and you can tell them within a year, and that 1,000 ringgit will offer you for, I think, I remember, maybe a few, maybe roughly come down to 20 ringgit per night, and you can book anytime you want, tell them, and they will reserve the room for you. And there are packages, hotel packages that you can go, stay, have food at a very attractive prices. And there are innovation on restaurant online. We couldn't imagine this. I couldn't imagine this before. But now you can order foods, pre-book foods without queuing. Of course, our the old norm, we like to go and eat in a restaurant, but nowadays, the new norm, we can still go. There are many restaurants that started to open. You can go, but the situation is different. But still, there are innovation being offered by the operators. And of course, the online businesses, online transaction, expand beyond our imagination. And the whole supply chain, not only for food, for clothing, for goods, even we can see that now for services being offered through online. And for example here, my capture of a Grab screen, not only for car, now in Malaysia we can see Grab offering food delivery, mart, prepaid businesses, insurance, cleaning businesses, and many more. And in fact, Grab, I think, or Grab-like application system are helping leapfrog many ideas that are difficult to apply before, but now become easy and profitable. Similarly, here, Food Panda. And of course, Lazada, Shopee, and many more. But there are challenges to them. I observe that many times. I order some food. You order 10 items, but sometimes you receive 8 or 9. So these are the challenges. Sometimes you read the reviews online regarding the goods, people buying goods. Sometimes people complaining that they order certain brand, they receive another brand. So this, in a way, to me, is offering a new happiness perspective. But these challenges require a new accountability, a new audit trail, so that the customer will be happy as we wanted it. And even though the way people handling the online businesses using peer review is very good, very attractive, but sometimes can be misleading. So in a way, looking at all what I mentioned just now, we can see that the challenges posted by COVID-19 is not really, well, in a positive way, it's not really a bad thing, but it's actually a catalyst for the IR 4.0 disruption to be transformed into whatever we see today, and maybe some more that we are not seeing yet today. Many more will be coming, because we can see that the positive cycle of all these multiple offering around, and the competition by certain innovative businesses will spiral the application, new application upward, and it's not going back. So I will say this. What happened yesterday, IR 4.0 digital disruption, been rapidly transformed to another disruption. And for MITRANS purposes, it's a special disruption in supply chain. And in fact, especially in the halal supply chain, I noticed that during Ramadan recently, there's a new logistic arrangement for supplying halal meat, halal chicken. You can buy online and people deliver to your doorstep. And all this to me is bringing a new happiness disruption. A new norm, in a way, bringing a new challenges, but at the same time, if we are for it, we can adapt to it. It's actually offer more conveniences. And in a way, let us have more free time to pay attention to many other things. So I'm offering to everybody to come and collaborate well with MITRANS, with UITM, with each other, look into the novelty of the new disruption, and at the same time keep sight of happiness. Many times I notice, because as Dr. Chetmah mentioned just now, I've been managing departments, faculties, and been in heading committees for many years. I've been working UITM for more than 30 years. Along those years, I noticed that not many times or not often that people by design look for happiness. They just talk it by default. They think being happy is by default. To me, it's not. It must go by design. You must design. And many times when I talk to people about balancing work and life, people cannot see the demarcation between what's work and what's life. Sometimes they work all their life. So they don't know that there's a bigger thing in life beside working. Sometimes people work 7 days a week, night and day. They do not do, or they do not put the differentiation, how to be happy. They thought by being happy working, then they'll be happy forever. Sometimes people wait until they go to their pension and they retire. Then they start to be happy. But by that time, their age may be 60 years old or more. They become different person. So I'm not sure that perspective, how you define happiness at that age. So hopefully with MITRANS, I'm here now with MITRANS. Let's work together, come and offer more disruption, especially in the area of logistics, transportation, and special focus on halal supply chain. And as Muslim, I think many of you are Muslim, halal is the thing we should own, we should pay attention, and we should be serious about it. And we really work smart for it. And this not only MITRANS focus, UITM focus, but I think the country's focus. My experience mingling with people from overseas, because Malaysia is the official religion of Malaysia is Islam. They thought when they talk about halal, then everything is halal. And we have this joke: people coming to Malaysia and then they drink alcohol. They think it's okay because they say it's halal. It's only a joke. Okay, mind you, I'm mentioning just a joke. Don't take it seriously. But what people are expecting, Malaysia is a respectable Muslim country. So halal is our thing. It's my thing. It's your thing. So why not? We pay attention to it, and we make people happy and make ourselves happy. So at MITRANS, I reiterate this. We have postgraduate studies, research, consultancy, and training. And we're doing many of these. Even now during COVID-19 and movement control order, we still run this. And even we are running many webinars to help many people to be happy. And we focuses on real happy delivery of many innovative solutions. We have addressed many strategy and tactical transportation problem, city logistic problem, looking at sustainable development goal in terms of transport planning and logistic, and we look at new application for green technology or low carbon footprints. And these are sort of multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, interdisciplinary, intradisciplinary, cross-disciplinary. So you see, all those folks saying that you have any idea concerning logistic, transportation, supply chain, we can discuss about it. We can create new ideas about it. We can create new application. We can create new proposal, new ideas, etc. So I hope you can be interested in this, and we can form a good partnership. Currently, we have partnership with government, many different ministry. We have memorandum of understanding and memorandum of agreement with them. We have a lot of collaboration with industry, local authorities, and international parties. For example, let me share with you some of our partners, universities, internal departments in UiTM, institutions out there, and these are all over the world, not only in Malaysia, but also elsewhere. We have current and previous collaboration and partnership with these companies quite a lot, and I'm looking to work together with them for 4 innovation solutions for logistic transportation and some for halal supply chain. And we also had worked with them before, and currently, for example, JPJ, we are running special academic program with them. So we are expanding that, not only other companies and industry in Malaysia, but to the region. And we have done this. We are one of the referral center for halal supply chain. We are running certified training for halal supply chain. We just concluded, I think, a lengthy training for Sabah Port. We're looking for more partnership with them. And now we are offering certification for several other interested party currently ongoing. We have many local collaboration and consultancy training, research. We also become part of advisory for government departments, industries. We have a lot of training also overseas, or for overseas participants. We have international research collaboration, partner with them on research, publication, and organizing conferences. And also we have academic programs, local and international academic programs. So I think allowing for, Dr. Cik Mah mentioned that I need to allow for certain Q&A. So I think I'm finishing this sharing this morning. Of course, we have CSR, and starting now, we're going also to pay attention to STEM movement, helping the country to get people more to be interested, to look at the science, technology, and mathematics, or STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So MITRANS, by being a center with a mixed interest, we have people who are good in engineering, architecture, and we have people good in operational research, good in business, good in quality, good in control. So the mix and mesh that we have, we can offer a good STEM movement or good STEM support, partly to help spearhead UITM's direction in getting people to be interested in science technology and maybe future becoming student at our university. And at the same time, getting people more to switch into a ICT based or amenable skill. So we have those, and we have been doing CSR, and as I mentioned, we're going to do more. So I think that's it. I would like to acknowledge my staff that gave me some of the data that I used today. And I would like also to do a disclaimer. Some of the pictures I shared with you just now, those are produced by other people. I just cut and paste them and show to you. But if you're going to get the slide later on, there'll be acknowledgement or citation of the original sources. But in general, thank you very much for paying your attention to my sharing. I hope in a way I have transported some happiness factors into you today. And maybe if you never think about living to be happy by design, maybe from my talk today, you're aware that you can design your own happiness. You can design your own life. You can design your own future. Even though people say that yesterday is history, future is unknown, but today, now, is our present. That this gift we can use to look ahead and plan to be happy in the future. And from Muslim perspective, Al-Ghazali mentioned that the wise people, the wise man, the wise person is who remember that one day will be dead. So, and when we are or will be resurrected later on, whatever good that we do today in this world will be good for us in the hereafter. So with that, I'm sorry for any weaknesses. I think I'll let the session go back to Dr. Chetma for Q&A.
Thank you, Prof. It was a very inspiring talk. You start out with being happy as in general, and how this COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted our happiness in some other ways, many ways in actual. But in some sense, this pandemic has also bring us happiness. We are more content with our life, our own life. We can hear the birds singing in the morning if we choose to listen, and many other details that you mentioned just now. But sometimes, as you were speaking just now, I put a note that sometimes we wanted to make other people happy, and thus we sacrifices our own happiness. So, would you like? Can you comment on that later? And also, there's your note. I put down some notes that you must. I remember that my take-home note for today's session will be create happiness by design. So I think everybody should be like, taking that as a take-home note also, that we have to create our own happiness. So first, I think I would like to read the question, because I asked if there's anybody who would like to state their questions in the chat space. So there's a question from Yud Kwan Lee. I'm not sure Mr. or Mrs. So
Prof.
Prof. Minta maaf. Okay, Prof. Okay. I think Prof. Nasir has also read the comment that he has pointed out. He wanted you to have, comment on the aspects of student school learning at home, online learning, and how this would affect their, the effect of their sight, because they are looking at the screens for a long time, and no social interaction with humans, so I think those are the human behavior versus the technology part of being at home and online learning. Okay, and I think the other participants, if you would like to have any questions, just unmute your microphone, and as a courtesy, maybe show us who you are, and then you may post. You may ask Prof in person. Alright, silakan Prof for
Okay,
the comment.
okay, Dr. Cik Mah, thank you. And Prof Lee, very relevant and interesting question. Actually, personally, when I was doing my undergraduate in Australia, Australia is a big country. People say the biggest island or continent, and by being big country, they have some of their population in remote areas, and school is impossible to accommodate a few children. It's not financially a reasonable thing to do. So what they implement is homeschooling, and Australia was very, or still is very popular using CB radios. So they have this, and also their television program that beam certain curriculum into the homes of the people in the remote area. So my experience many years ago, I think that was what, 30 odd years ago, that homeschooling has been done, can be done, and even my colleagues in UITM in this university also have their children being homeschooled. One of my neighbor in my housing area, sorry, also homeschool their children. So the conclusion is that it can be done. But the other challenge, as Prof Lee raised up, of course, got to do with our parents' skill, parenting skill, how to limit the children in using the electronic devices, electronic gadget, or to minimize their time facing the screen. Or we can buy a screen with a blue filter, for example, that reduce the radiation. So there are many more which I think require a certain parenting skill. And this is more important, as I found out in Australia, because in many countries, elsewhere, in certain part of our society also, whenever bad happen to children, we blame the school, we blame the society, etc., etc. But by homeschooling, you must take the blame, and that goes without saying. That means you can design your children grown up, your children education. So then, as Dr. Cik Mah summarized just now, we can help the children to grow up by design. I mean, in many cases also, at one time I was asked to give a talk for a local society, for parent society, and I was telling them that we bring up our children by default, not by design. And many was caught by surprise. They never thought about it. Because, you know, children, by the person, by the human being, they grow up. You can see elsewhere, even the areas where they are not peaceful, there are a lot of calamities, children still grow up. But sometimes they grow up by default. But now we have choices. So the challenges of the new norm maybe make us a closer-knit families, a more happy families. And we have time to pay attention to the children growing up, rather than leaving the growing up children, educating the children, 100% the responsibilities of kindergarten, school, university. But now we have the chance to have more interaction and to really be involved in bringing up children. So sorry, lengthy response to that. I hope I partly fulfill the question, the inquiry. Yeah, the last part of the question by Prof. Lee, I'm reading the chat, regarding losing the communal aspect or interaction, social interaction. Now, you know, I would like to share with you. I've got 2 granddaughters now, and you know, when I was a bit younger before, I have my own children. You know, being young, being sort of not very matured, you look at being a parent differently. But now, being a granddad, you're looking at the new babies, you look at new children, your perspectives are totally different. That's why now I understand why grandchildren like their grands much more than their parents. Because I think by having the extra experiences, you look at life differently. You appreciate life differently. And I used to hear that um, people say unconditional love. I didn't understand that before. I thought I understood it. But unconditional love, that means you love whoever you like, you love your friend, you love your children, you love your wife, your husband, your grandchildren, without judging them. Totally, solely unconditional. So my granddaughter, when she's growing up with us most of the time, and my wife at home full time, take care of teaching her many, many things. So when we brought her out to see the other children, surprisingly, the granddaughter can get well. So even though she's separated from the kindergarten, not going there, she's not in the sort of society, but when she go there, she seemed to be cleverer than the other and approachable and more confident. So, and I also, when I was in the UK, because many, many years ago in the UK, Muslim are not that well accepted. So by being, my friend Muslim, and they got Muslim, the children are Muslim, of course. So they homeschool them because at that time, not many Muslim school in UK, but now you have many, many Muslim high school in the UK. So they homeschool their children, but as the question being raised, they lack the social interaction. But what happened then, every changes of season, they have gathering. They have winter gathering, they have summer gathering, they have spring gathering, they have autumn gathering where the Muslim children get together in corresponding camp, and there where they get their social skill, get their interaction. That's only some example. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. That's a good story. I was like too mesmerized with the story. I forgot to take notes. Okay, is there any more questions? Okay, from Dr. Amy Normalina Omar. Prof, how do you see future of halal supply chain in the next 5 years, maybe? From Dr. Amy. So, Prof.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because there are many questions. I was looking.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's okay. That's very pertinent and very deep question on me.
Yes.
To me, I couldn't remember the number, but a halal supply chain was billion, nearing to trillion. And when I was in Korea and Japan and in selected conferences, people over there really paying very focused interest in halal supply chain, because to them, when we say halal, the word halal to them means clean, meticulous, follow certain SOPs, good audit system, reliable, trustworthy. So it's like whatever they've been doing. So they jump on board, but they misinterpret. For example, when we talk about them halal meat, they thought that when they follow the procedure of slaughtering whatever, not really thinking about the Islamic requirement. In general, SOP wise, they follow the procedure, but basically they are not fulfilling the halal criteria. So you see, the whole world, if we can do it properly, is a big market for halal supply chain. And in a way, we can interpret halal supply chain as a fully high integrity, audited, trustworthy, and people keeping their promises. So it's very big industry. For whatever reason, you see during COVID-19 now, the whole world looking at Islamic perspective in different way. Recently, you see even in Thailand, one of their session, they look for the Muslim scholar to say prayer. And in Germany and elsewhere, it's a new phenomenon. So halal, if we can understand properly, can play also a major role in we delivering our work, either work from home or work at the office. The halal way of working is actually showing high integrity and commitment to work. But at the same time, we look further into the hereafter. I mean, you see the repercussion of you delivering your product, your services today. So there shouldn't be any cheating. any misinterpretation, and many, many more. So I think with the current movement, the future of halal supply chain is really great. So for you who are interested to jump on board, please come to MITRANS. I'm looking for new officers here as well. So even if you are good, you can replace me as well. Come and be director of MITRANS. Sorry, Dr. Cik Mah.
Ada iklan. Ada iklan ya, Prof. Ada iklan. Okay, there's what you said about food delivery, because I'm in the food sector. I'm from food service management area. So I see that there's a lot of food delivery going on during the COVID-19, and then there's a surge in 30% of food delivery, food ordering online, and also food delivery. And we see more people who are not quote unquote not in the food business doing the food business and doing the food delivery by themselves. And I live in area Saujana Utama, and I see that so many people, you know, they're not in the food business, but now they are doing it, and they are delivering the food by themselves, not using the food grab or the food panda. And is from my perspective is a bit concerning, because you don't know the background of them, you know, having the knowledge of food safety and whatnot. Even the people, the young people who do the delivery, we don't know, you know, how much about time and temperature that they know about food delivery. So it's one of the concern that in food service we are trying to look into that matter, because halal is also hygiene, halalan taiban. So if the product is being prepared with halal concern, but it's not being transported in a halal manner or in a clean manner, hygienic manner, then that would be very dangerous also into the, you know, the system. So that's, I think, one of the areas that we could, you know, look into, maybe potential collaboration with MITRANS, inshallah. Inshallah, someday, inshallah. That is PMTP, Prof.
Right. In fact, your comment just now, easily we can have another forum, another panel forum that maybe lasted minimum 2 hours to discuss that potential. It's big potential.
Yes.
Because to me, halal opened up many more. It's defined the way we live. And for people who want to make money, as you mentioned, does not necessarily those people who know how to prepare food. People who can do the innovation. For example, you know, Airbnb, Grab, Uber. These are the people who know how the technology and how to connect the supply chain from the material, the maker, to the customer, and how to bring up I use the word halal way of accrediting the supplier, the products, so that the customer also in a halal way looking at correct perspective regarding the product that they consume, they buy, or they purchase. So it's opened up a whole new dimension. It's a big area, and maybe it requires another big institution to really look into it. And I can sort of share a little bit with you. We're going in a big way, in a bigger way soon. So I don't want to declare now, but a much bigger thing is happening. It's not only transporting happiness, but then explosion of happiness will come our way. So follow on to your seat, maybe come to MITRANS, and the rest also, the others come, and we can make people happy, and we also have little bit of money to fund certain grant, certain research. So I'm not declaring that loudly because the amount is not that big.
Oh, that part we know. We know that MITRANS has money.
Yeah. And in a big way, we're also sharing the findings. Sharing means we publish a lot. We're going to do a lot. So you can come and be our partners, our collaborators. We can write more technical paper, because from Islamic perspective, your finding, the way of doing good things, you share with other people, that become your, I say in our language, amal jariyah. What's that in English, Cik Mah? Is amal jarah mean perpetual
Needs,
perpetual abundance maybe. I don't know, maybe in English.
I pun
It's
tak
been
tahu.
there, multiplied by itself. So we can also share through publication, and publication, the university want it, the government want it, because that's a measure of our intellectual capacity. The more you publish good thing, the more people cite your finding, know that this good thing they can use and improve further, then the citation become better. So that's different perspective. Rather than people publish to get promotion, we're talking about publish and getting the rewards in the hereafter. Getting more people to share your good finding.
Yeah, inshallah, Prof. Prof, there's another one from Dr. Amy. Did you mean that the awareness and high demand of halal supply chain are more in non-Muslim countries compared to Muslim countries? Would you like to comment on that, Prof?
Okay. I bring another parallel story. You know, well, I'm born in a Muslim family. My father, my grandfather, grandmother, from both sides of my parents are Muslim. So by default, I'm a Muslim. So then, when I was a bit younger, sometimes I didn't tell the truth to my parents or grandparents. For example, they asked me to go to the mosque and do certain things. And sometimes our main concern is playing or get connected with friends. We didn't do the thing that we're supposed to do. So, but by having opportunities to go to Australia and then later on to the UK to do my studies. And when I was in Australia, I was a bit young, but at that time I learned a lot and I was involved in local communities. And then I was involved with the people who convert or revert to Muslim, to become Muslim. And to them, when they revert to Muslim, it's very precious to them. And they commented, sometimes they commented on us. For example, some of my friends, they didn't go to classes. So this local convert said, you're a Muslim, why you didn't go to class? Why you didn't take your responsibility? We call it amanah. So to them, we are non-Muslim because we are not following that. So that's a similar parallel story to that. So scenario will be similar. Sometimes we in Muslim country, we by default, it's around us. So we don't pay special attention to it. But people who are new, for example, COVID-19, bring a new norms and people pay attention to it. But status quo is not much challenge. So we need to renew our perspective, maybe every day or every now and then, see in the new light. For example, when I was a panel to one of the government department before evaluating industries out there. So I went to assess the industry and for example, one industry are exporting to the Middle East. So I asked them, and these are non-Muslim company. They are producing packaging product for the Middle East companies. So I asked them regarding their experience dealing with the Middle Eastern companies. Well, these are from Muslim countries. And again, they look to Malaysia as a Muslim country. But then, the one participating in the supply chain is a non-Muslim. So you see, for Muslim, we are comfortable by being a Muslim, but we do not see the need to innovate, to be creative. And similarly, I mean, most government servants now, we enjoy our pay. We define work from home, but are we innovating, being creative, how to be effective working from home? Or are we happy to enjoy free Astro channel? Or you can even watch movie from the US or from the Europe as well. So you can have thousands of channel, free channel every day through your internet. So, but are we taking the initiative by working from home, by the conveniences in our home, to be more productive, to deliver better? So if we do not do that, then maybe our brain become a negative cycle. So these are parallel things. I'm not answering that question directly, but I'm mentioning it's not metaphorical, but it's a parallel thing. I hope you understand. I hope.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're making us think by ourselves and taking the responsibility of making the decision which story. I mean, give us the opportunity to think by ourselves and do the decision, which is which, I think. And then I think, is there any more question from the participants? Maybe you would like to ask in person to Prof?
Then they can email me.
All right.
Can
Okay, okay.
I don't mind to, because more people happy, I'll be happy. You
Inshallah.
know, I always quote Ziegler's quote. Ziegler says that you can get anything you want if you can help as many people get whatever they want. And Ziegler wrote that based on his empirical research. He did a lot of research and he concluded that, you know, people can get anything they want if they can just help as many people get whatever they want. So I always told my colleagues in the class, we got 30 students and we are a professor or we are well known in our subject. So, but we have this verb or vocab in our dictionary. If you are good, you are killer lecturer. To me, that shouldn't be that. If you are good, your 35 students should all get grade A's because you are excellent.
Yes.
And you help them because they come, he wanted to become your student. They pay for it because they want to be a graduate one day. So why not help them? And then you will be successful. Similarly, we have many postgraduate students, but again, we go by default. We don't go by design. By right, we should design. Our student, in general, should be having GOTs, graduate on time. But of course, here and there, we have issues, we have problems. Some of them cannot do that. But generally, we should have a few of them to be excellent outcome from our effort by design rather than by default. By design, I mean that we put effort to supervise, to check progress, to get them to write, to get them to update their progress in research, etc., etc. So that's what I mean by design.
And then some designs are meant for special, unique people. I mean, there's students that you need to use a special kind of design, and the other maybe you have another design for different type of students. Maybe. Do you agree with me?
Yeah. I think most of the time we tend to generalize things.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not easy, Dr. Cik-Mah, to be very specific because generalization by default is very easy.
Yes, betul.
But not to generalize, you require extra effort, and not many people like to do that. But if you can do that, you'll be excellent and you'll be very happy.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof, for your time, for the input. It's very inspiring and very, open. You open another perspective of thinking, and also please pay attention to Prof invitation to collaborate to MITRANS. I'm extending the iklan for you. And also, again, thank you to the participants who stay with us until the end of 1 hour, and furthermore, I think we deliberate another 10 minutes from the time anticipated. So thank you again, Prof, and thank you again all the participants. So next time, inshallah, till we meet again, Prof.
Yeah, you're good. Thank you for being a sport. Yeah. Thank you. Again. I hope everybody benefit. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.